Mr. Ritesh Sharma is head brand and retail R-Elan from Reliance Industries Limited, a seasoned professional with extensive experience and in the textile industry. He leads the strategic vision and execution of R-Elan, a next generation fabric range crafted from specially engineered fibers and filaments. With over 25 years of experience spanning the fiber, fabric and apparel sectors, Mr. Sharma has been instrumental in establishing collaborations with top-tier fashion brands, manufacturers and retailers, fostering sustainable and performance-driven textile solutions, contributing significantly to the expansion and success of R-Elan in both Indian and international markets. A warm welcome to Mr. Ritesh Sharma. Mr. Sharma will be joining us very shortly. Mr. Jyotiprakash Mohapatra is Joint President, Pulp and Fiber, Grasim Industries, the Aditya Birla Group. Prior to the Aditya Birla Group, he was Vice President NITS, Business Division Arvind Limited at Ahmedabad. While working at Invista, he led renowned fiber brands like Lycra, Coolmax, etc. for South Asia. A warm welcome to Mr. Jyotiprakash Mohapatra. Welcome, Mr. Mohapatra. Mr. Steve Milner is Vice President, Noble Biomaterials. He leads advancements in antimicrobial and conductive textiles for healthcare. With expertise in infection prevention and technical textiles, he has played a key role in strategic growth and innovation. Previously, as General Manager of Infection Prevention Textiles and Sales Director at Toray Textiles Europe Limited, he contributed to market expansion and advanced textile solutions. His focus remains on safety, sustainability and cutting-edge technology in the textile industry. A warm welcome to Mr. Steve Milner. Welcome, sir. Ms. Swati Sharma is Head of Design, Van Heusen Innerwear at Aditya Birla Fashion and Retail Limited, an innerwear and athleisure specialist and an innovation-driven, dynamic and result-oriented design leader. She spearheads production, innovation and creative strategy for Van Heusen's women innerwear and athleisure categories with a strong focus on comfort, fit, aesthetics and advanced fabric technologies. Her prior experience encompasses bestseller India's first men's innerwear line for Jack & Jones, Shahi Exports developing products for leading global brands like Next, M&S, H&M and C&A. A warm welcome to Swati Sharma. Welcome, ma'am. Aparna J. Walters is Chief Design Officer, Modenik Lifestyle. She leads mind-to-market process in innovation, design and product development across men's, women's and kids' wear innerwear, lingerie, shapewear, thermals, athleisure, essential wear and casual wear across multiple segments, premium, mid-premium and mass for the brands Enama, Levi's Inners, Dixie Scott Originals, Maximus, Josh and Slims. As a member of the leadership team, she collaborates on shaping and executing business strategies across all 6 brands, driving innovation and growth. A warm welcome to Arpana Walters. Welcome, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now my privilege and pleasure to invite our most distinguished and erudite moderator, Vibhuti Sharma, Senior Consultant, Wazir Advisors. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, may I request you to put your hands together in a collective round of applause for our entire panel. I know they're going to enthrall and keep us riveted to their discussions over the next hour. Over to you, Vibhuti. Thank you.
Thank you so much. While Ritesh ji joins, I'll just start with a brief introduction about what we are here to discuss today. So today we've gathered here to talk about the future of innerwear and comfort wear through innovation. So when we talk about the intimate apparel industry, it currently stands at $7 million and it is going to reach around $12 million by 2030. That is a growth rate of about 8% and we are set to outpace even the global levels of growth in the intimate apparel industry. So that's definitely a positive impact and we are looking for growth in future. And when we talk about the industry, there are multiple trends that are there in the industry, be it the trend of premiumization or designs, innovation at the fiber level or the product level, Or it could also be the consumer trends. The consumers are getting bolder, the choices that they are making are bolder, they want more, better buying experience. And all in all, when we talk about these trends, innovation lies at the heart of it. And talking about innovation, we have all the industry stalwarts here who've made multiple contributions to innovations, be it product innovation, design innovation, or raw materials innovation. And definitely this is a testimony which tells us that innovation not only lies at the end closest to the consumer, but also it's spearheaded by the design itself. So I think without further ado, we'll just dive into the discussion. And firstly, I would like to ask Ms. Arpana about the product innovations that have been undertaken by Modenik.
Hello, good to see you all today. To talk about product innovations, actually the last couple of years have been really exciting. And at Modenik, we have multiple brands at different price points. We have men's and we have women's, and I've seen a huge shift in the last couple of years in terms of what the consumer is looking for and the kind of innovations that we are doing right now. So actually, if you look at product innovations, we've used new fibers for innovations, moving away from the traditional 100% cotton. Even in mass market, it's moving towards bamboo, it's moving towards modal, even polyamide. Polyamide has been there for women's for a long time, but the good thing is we're seeing new fibers across brands right now. The other major product innovation that's been going on, I think, is mainly the bonding and the second skin feel that has come in. Whether it's with bonding or whether it's with seamless, the entire second skin feel that is happening across segments right now. So a lot of product innovations that we've done centered around this. In enamel, for example, we have three big innovation ranges. One is the wellness range, where we've used an entire bamboo range. We have the second skin range, where we have our Invisalign, everything is bonded, and Flexi Free, where we have seamless knitted. And all of this is about giving the consumer comfort 2.0. So a lot of exciting things going on, and good to see that it's across price points and across segments.
So definitely comfort lies at the heart of it all, and across price range it's important that comfort be given to the consumers, because at the end of the day it all trickles down to what the consumer wants and whether the consumer is satisfied or not. I think I'll put the same question to Swati as well, and can you help us understand the innovations that Van Heusen has undertaken?
So, like how Arpana mentioned about the innovations in seamless space and bamboo, use of bamboo as a fabric, organic cotton shift in India. While all that is happening in Van Heusen, we have also explored seamless technology as a big space for us to do product innovations, and we've got products under this category. With that, we've also gotten into 3D knitting, which is another category that has taken up the innovation space, for the consumer, product innovation space there. I truly believe that Indian intimate industry has undergone a massive shift, and a huge part of the shift comes from awareness. People now understand that innerwear is not just a basic necessity, but it's something that impacts their comfort, confidence, and even health to a certain extent. I mean, take moisture-wicking fabrics for an example. While we were the first ones at Van Heusen Innerwear to launch antibacterial innerwear for men and women, that innovation became a norm in the industry now. Every brand, most of the brands in the space now you see that are using this finish on their everyday products, and I think these are some of the innovations that we've taken over, and yeah.
Thank you, Swati. I think we've heard the brand side of story. Now we'll trickle it down to the raw materials side of story as well. So, Stephen, this is a question for you. So, what innovations have you made? Can you give us a little introduction about the company, about Noble Biochemicals as well, and the kind of innovations that you work at?
Sure. So we're an American textile ingredient brand, I guess you'd describe us as. Our heritage has always been integration of silver into textile. Silver has two very distinctly different but very effective benefits. It's very conductive, so we have a very large market in military and industrial shielding, in smart textiles, conductive textiles, but also silver is an extremely well qualified, very safe antimicrobial, very effective antimicrobial. So we have antimicrobial business across many different sectors. We start in healthcare, from advanced wound care products, wound dressings, right through to textiles that are used in hospitals every day. Scrub suits, doctors' coats, surgical gowns, drapes, those types of textiles, where brands and the end users look to our technologies to add value, to add functionality to their product, to differentiate their product somewhat from others. And in those sorts of applications, it's there to reduce infection. In consumer goods, the same types of technologies are used, mostly anti-odor. Odor is the biggest reason why people look to our technologies. And we've been working with global brands. As I say, we're an American company, so our biggest brand customers are currently American brands, but I'm based in London. We have a good business in Europe as well. And we work with athleisure brands in the main, sports brands, some outdoor brands, again to bring functionality and differentiation to their end products. It's sort of in a nutshell what we do.
Thank you, Stephen. I'll just come back to you about to talk about the global brands and what difference you felt working in India. But before that, I'll just pose a quick question to Ritesh ji, wherein I want him to speak about the fiber innovations that have taken place at R-Elan, and also about a little touching upon the sustainability aspect of it.
Thank you. Just to put in some numbers into perspective before I talk about the innovation. So basically, and then the right reasons to innovate in this direction. So basically, when we talk about the total fiber usage, let's say in India, so we talk about man-made versus natural. So it's almost like 61% today is man-made fibers usage in India. The world average is 78%, and China is at a mind-blogging 87% today. So 87% of the fiber being used in China today is man-made, and only 13% comes from the natural sources. So there's a long way for India to go into this direction. And then putting in perspective the kind of targets we have set for the textile industry in general, and what the textile industry is aiming for, and what the government is also looking at, is a tremendous growth in textiles coming our way in the next, let's say, 5 to 6 years. So by 2030, it is projected that the overall domestic market will grow from $125 billion to $250 billion. The export market grows from $40 to $100 billion, which is a 2.5x growth. And overall, the industry grows from $165 billion to $350 billion, a tremendous growth which is coming in. And if we do a backward calculation around it, so the total fiber which would be required to service this $350 billion textile industry is going to be, let's say, around 21 million tons of fiber. Today, the fiber being consumed is around 14 billion tons. So probably half of that is coming from cotton and half from man-made fibers, just to put a ballpark figure. My colleague would be able to give more accurate numbers to it. And so if we look at 2030, there has to be a requirement of 6 million tons which is going to come. So how is this 6 million tons going to, there's a huge possibility of innovation coming into man-made fibers, because you can change the chemistry, you can change the cross-section, you can put additives into the fiber to bring functional benefits or add sustainability, or even something which can biomimic biodegradation process and biodegrade even faster than wool, for example. So a lot of innovations are coming in. So, but what we feel is that innovation today, the consumers expectation is changing and the trend is changing very fast, right? So what you innovate today, tomorrow becomes the basic. So the consumer says, okay, what next? So innovation has to be a pipeline in process, work in progress always. So you cannot say today I have innovated, now I can reap the fruits for next 5 years or 6 years in the old times. So you have to innovate very fast, right? So for example, we heard that quick dry is important and antimicrobial is important. So we innovated into those directions as well and made it something which is more inherent and permanent in nature, rather than saying it will last only 5 washes or 10 washes and then it is gone. So for example, when you talk about intimate or activewear, you wash the garment every time you wear it. It is not like a denim where you wear it 4 or 5 times, or a formal pant you wear it 4 or 5 times and then you submit it to washing. So it is something you wear and wash, and if you talk about 5 washes, 10 washes, or even 15 washes, it is gone in a matter of days only. So we are innovating in directions like, for example, our fiber Cooltex, which has permanent moisture management because it's specially engineered with a special cross section, and it gives inherent moisture management throughout the life of the garment. So sweat dries very quickly, it gives you a cooling effect. Similarly, antimicrobial, and we heard about silver ions, which is permanent, kind of again inherent. If you embed silver ions, it is throughout the life of the garment, it is antimicrobial, anti-odor. So a lot of innovations coming that way. Then we are giving the industry the right reasons to replace, to kind of man-made fibers which are now going closer to look like natural fibers, and still bringing in the functional attributes which the consumer is requiring today.
Definitely. You just touched base upon how the consumer trends are impacting the innovation and how innovation needs to be a constant pipeline. So definitely sustainability is also one of the key factors that the consumer is demanding. So this is the line of question that I would like to ask Mr. Mohapatra and Atulji. What are the is sustainability driving innovation firstly? And then what are the innovations that you have undertaken?
Yeah, so good question. Sustainability is definitely at the forefront of the game now. But I feel sustainability is working in every aspect of the apparel industry and other industries as globally if we talk. Whatever you do innovation is happening in 3 key realms, if I believe now. It's happening in physical realm, it's happening in digital realm, and it's happening in a sentimental or emotional realm also. So what specifically we are talking here is the innovation and sustainability in a physical realm. When I say physical realm, it covers everything. It covers fiber, it covers yarns, it covers fabrics, it covers dyeing or processing or wet processing. It doesn't end there. Apparel is the end product, but that is not the end point for innovation and sustainability. It's happening beyond that also. So inventory, warehouse management, designing, it's happening everywhere. If I have to talk specifically of the physical realm and product innovation and sustainability, then as a company which I represent as a Heusen, we have a lot of sustainability initiatives. Core product of Heusen and Creora is a Spandex. So we are a company who holds maximum share globally and with India also. In Indian market, we hold around 60% share in a Spandex market. So there are some products who are really cutting edge product, like if I have to talk, Regain and Regain Bio are 2 of the Spandex products, where Regain is the pre-consumer waste recycled product, and Regain Bio is where we are trying to replace the fossil fuels, and we are replacing it with a dent corn and a natural product where we have 3 categories: 30% biomass, close to 60% biomass, and 98% biomass. Answering to your second question, Vibhuti, yes, it's both ways. Sustainability is driving the industry, and industry and product is also driving the sustainability. It's a demand from both the ways. I mean, designers and designers on all the aspects, like textile designers and garment designers. they are designing the products more and more in their own way, making it sustainable in a form of creativity and end use.
Okay.
Those are both the things happening. Whereas the material developers are creating their product from the material point of view and primary and secondary raw material point of view more on a sustainable aspects which belongs to their work domain as well. I think I
So-
believe that is the right answer for you.
A point well taken, Atulji. So basically, but what drives the innovation? Is it more towards a push strategy or more towards a pull strategy? Does it trickle down or is it from the raw materials upwards?
See, it both ways, but if you ask as a pioneers, if we develop something and then create the awareness, that is a right strategy. Because see, consumers need certain help and inputs from the brands and the creators to know what they have created and what are their applications. So that is where I feel is a more differentiating aspect, but it works both ways. It's not a one-way traffic.
Understood. Mr. Mohapatra, you would like to add something?
Hi, I think I will continue saying it is not only for the fiber industry, it is for whole industry. Be it fiber, be it yarn production, be it processing, be it garmenting, everywhere is sustainability is there.
Right.
If I'll talk about MMCF manufacturers, we are one of the largest manufacturers of MMCF fiber, you know. MMCF everybody knows, is man-made cellulosic fiber. So we are one of the largest in the world. And I extend what Ritesh talked about, the fiber basket, how it, you know, it is from cotton to the man-mades and the cellulosic. Cellulosic is one of the fastest growing, Ritesh. It is growing at 7 to 8% each year, which is the fastest among all fibers. So I can say MMCF is something which is growing across categories. Then I'm talking about little bit on, before I get into the sustainability part, I'll get into the consumer psychology part. If you'll talk about consumer preference, it is moving towards, you know, basically when we started all this, it was all products which are Comfortwear. Then first of all, style is coming into the picture. So Comfortwear and styling is something which has started. Now it is functionality. So functionality is something which is blended to style and comfort, making it a better product. So now I'll come into the factors which are affecting consumer behavior. One is consumer is looking at what he is buying, whether he is buying a product which is sustainably produced. So it is the raw material where we play, and the raw material has got 70% to do with the product. If raw material is right, the fiber is right, then product is definitely the right product. We have different kinds of a product apart from the commodity viscose. We have Levi Eco as a viscose extension. We have got Levi Eco Modal. We have got a product sponsored, which is a dope dyed product. You know, normally what happens is in the textile industry, processing takes away your whole energy, whole pollution into account. So I think that's where we introduced a product called sponsored, which is a dope dyed product, and where designers, product managers can really work on it, create products around that, and I think it is with polyester also. I think a lot of things can be blended through this product where processing will be nullified. There will be no water. I think, so one is raw material, second one is processing. I think when we talk about processing, there is now waterless dyeing is coming up. I think there are a lot of projects which are new also and which are upcoming also. There is a carbon dioxide dyeing. There is dyeing where there is no water. So I think new technology has been into play where the processing will be either with less water, with less chemical, like I told spunsets, and with lesser energy. So I think the focus should be for the product raw material, focus should be for processing, focus should be for on the energy part also. How can we replace electricity with solar energy? I think that should be the focus in India. If you go to any other other countries, you will see solar is something where they use and the cost of production is less. How China is really having a cost advantage over India is because of their energy, solar energy. We use electricity. That's where the play is. So I think sustainability is with the raw material, with the processing. And number three, there are technology which are coming. We see, okay, it's a technology like 3D seamless. Okay, when we talk about seamless, it's a new technology, it's a new thing which is coming. There is no seam, there is a comfort. When there is no seam, there is a comfort. But overall, if you'll see, it is also reducing around 15% of raw material being used there because directly the garment is coming. So there is lesser raw material being used. So the technology we need to use the best possible manner so that, you know, the energy levels, yeah. So I think that's it from my side.
I just wanted to add a point, great points from Atul and Jyoti. Okay, so I think so within the value chain with brands, fiber producers, mills and processors, I think we are having a lot of discussions on a daily basis, even hourly basis on how do we make our product more sustainable, and that is the right direction to take place, to take also. One of the key factors, very important, is how are we able to convey all this to a consumer, right? So these discussions are happening within the value chain. Are we able to create sufficient consumer awareness so that consumer, when they go to a store and are able to make an informed choice, are able to choose a product which has been made more sustainably, right? So we have to reach to that level, and we'll all have to work together, market it together, work in a collaborative way so that the consumer knows, okay, this product which I'm going to buy is more sustainable than this product, right? So we spent so many years in textiles, we know that, right? So when we go and make a purchase, we know that. So for example, if we want to go and buy a car, are we able to understand that which is more sustainable, which is less sustainable, the fabric, the materials which have been used? Similarly, a consumer has to know about it, that this is what has gone into the product and this is what they are choosing is the right product, keeping in the future of the planet. So we have to market our product also in the right way. I think that is very, very important.
Absolutely, I agree that marketing is very crucial, and until and unless the consumer is aware about what is sustainable and what is not sustainable, they will not be well equipped to make the right choice. So we've talked about consumer trends and sustainability. I would like to come back to Ms. Arpana and talk about the other consumer trends that are shaping the industry and shaping innovation in particular.
With consumers, actually, you know, one of the important things to realize is the human body has not changed. The body is the same, the needs of the body actually are the same. So what we have been seeing is we have certain benefits that we have to give the consumer which will meet their needs, but meet it in a much better way. And there are plenty of times when the consumer is not aware that, you know, their needs can be met in a much better fashion than what they're used to. That is where, again, the marketing part of it comes in. But what we've been doing at Enamer right now is actually talking about how we have our heritage styles, our best-selling styles, which have certain kinds of benefits for the consumer. The consumer buys it, say, for example, for a shaping lift. Now, the heritage version would be, you know, it's cut and sewn in cotton. The wellness version would be, we give the same thing in bamboo fiber. Then we give the next version, which would be maybe a 3D knit version, like our FO37. And we've noticed one thing. Every time we've given our consumer something extra in terms of a benefit, the consumer is getting it. You know, when we call out the benefits, we see the spike in sales. And we see that these innovations are really being understood by the consumer. So in terms of consumer needs nowadays, the true needs are the same. But the need for better and better comfort, for sustainable options within clothes, actually, there isn't that much. I'm seeing a lot of the Gen Z consumers being far more aware. You know, we had a panel last year where we had brought in a couple of 20, 25-year-olds, and all of them, without fail, said they would pay more for a sustainable style. But when we meet a lot of our older consumers, that kind of awareness is not there, and the want of, you know, paying a little extra to get a more sustainable option is not really there. So we actually had done dope-dyed garments. On our polyamide, in our fashion styles, we had done dope-dyed. And we had to actually talk about a whole lot of other benefits for the consumer, saying, you know, it's higher denier fabric, ultra light and ultra smooth and no crush. It wasn't the sustainability part that we had to talk about. The sustainability was for us to, you know, feel good that we were, as a company, doing something that's more sustainable. And even with our bamboo, for example, we talk a lot about the sustainable and the good things that come out of it. And, even when we are doing 3D, we've done 3D as well with one of our best sellers. And like you said, when we do all these newer options, bonding or 3D, we are doing more efficient styling. There's a lot of saving, both for the company and for the environment when we do all these new innovations.
Just a follow-up question to that would be, you talked about the consumer needs, but is there a mechanism in place that actually understands those needs and probably translates them to what is required in the industry? And how is it different for men and women altogether, or different across categories also?
So we actually have quite a robust mechanism in our company to find out everything that might be required by consumers. We have actually, Enama, I think, was the company that pioneered fit sessions in India. And in this fit session that we do, it is all the head office people who go, we stand on the floors, we meet consumers. We've, I think, over the last 2 decades met thousands and thousands of women, gotten a lot of rich and very robust feedback, which we come and we feed it back into the system to understand and bucket the needs and see what is it that we need to offer. And other than this, there are also marketing surveys that are done. We send out questionnaires, and every time we have sell-through ratios and everything, we look at it and see what works and what doesn't work. So for us, in design, the process starts with what is it that we need to do for the consumer, the what, then the how, and then we loop back once it goes into the market and see if it has worked. And that again informs us on what we need to do next. Yeah, so it's really quite a robust system that we have. And we also get a lot of good feedback online, which we again then feed back into our system on what we need to do. And you also asked me about men and women. Yes, different needs. And it's not just the genders, but I think even more than the genders, it's the different segments of the market. As in mass market segment, you have very different kind of needs. You come to the mid, you have different needs. You have in the premium, you have different needs. And what we've done as a company is actually looked at what are the basic essential needs that have to be met in every garment, and what are all these wonderful, innovative features that we can give which would really deliver delight to consumers at every different price point.
Can I add one thing on the consumer side, because I was listening to somebody, I think today in a forum or somewhere, if we'll talk about how consumer behaves and how brand evolves. I think Bummer was talking about it. If you'll go to their site and see, so they have got in between. So men's macho, you have seen macho. Macho is something which is for the intimate apparel, and for ladies wear it is all sexy. Okay, and they are talking about what you want to really wear when we are doing fun. So Bummer is all about fun. So that's what I'm talking about. So consumer behavior also is something brand is taking into while looking into their products, because they work with us, they work with the product, getting into the prints, what really be the prints which is not for the intimate, what for the loungewear also. Now customer is wanting multi-purpose products. It can be for a loungewear, for an intimate apparel also. I thought to add this, yeah.
Yeah, so for, I think, the genders, functionally there are different needs that have to be met, and with each product category we make sure that we meet them. And there are different kinds of innovations available to meet these different needs, whether it is raw material innovations or whether it's product or design innovations as well. So I think the list is endless. I won't be able to talk about all of them here.
One small point, Vibhuti, I would like to make. What Jyoti and Arpana has said. The key factor here to consider is the usage of the apparel has mainly now activity based and a segment based. If I see when we grew up 20-30 years back, it was absolutely a product based, utility based. Today we have different requirements. Even for any segment, if you take sportswear top as a segment or innerwear bottom as a segment has different usage depending on your activity. Your daily wear need is different. If you are doing a medium to high performance activity, it's different. If you are doing trails, it's different. If you are leisure, it's different. So sustainability is getting driven according to the usage and a segment. So it's not a one fit for all. That's what I feel.
Absolutely. Definitely, it is not one fit for all, and we've seen a lot of startups also come into picture with they're targeting niche categories. Like Bummer also is targeting what you do when what do you wear when you do fun, or there is Butt Chic or other startups which are also venturing into totally innovative product categories, which could be your pasties or body tapes also. So the innovation is present at across the supply chain. Now I would like to come to Swati and ask the same question about consumer trends and how is it different and what mechanism do you have in place to understand these consumer trends?
So what we saw earlier was when, so if we went to an innerwear store or looked at consumer buying patterns, majority of the sales, it was coming from your basic, no frill innerwear, your standard everyday bra, cotton panties. But there is a clear shift in demand now, and that's majorly because of the consumer awareness. They very clearly understand, and like how Atul was mentioning, they want options to choose from for various occasions, purpose. And I feel that the shift is coming, one, from the awareness that people have now, and the second reason, or there are many reasons to it though, but then it could be because of rising disposable income and people wanting to experiment with the personal expression. There could be many reasons to it, but I mean majorly I feel that it's because of the awareness that people have gained now. And what we see now is how Arpana was mentioning about different technologies that are coming in play in the category. We have, I mean, coming back to the seamless technology now, if you see, honestly, nobody likes the itch of a stitch, right?
Absolutely,
or to deal
yes.
with visible lines under their clothes. And with advancement in technologies, we have products that are as close to second skin. So I really feel that in my mind, it's awareness and that leading us designers to kind of think out of the box and see. For us, it's more about how the product functions, how it feels, and how, to a great extent, how it impacts to the environment. So all these factors are playing in these shifts that are happening. Yeah.
I think social media also is
Absolutely.
something that plays a very important role
Yeah,
these
yeah.
days.
So, I mean, consumers are getting a lot of exposure now through social media, testimonials, direct brand communication, and it's kind of bridged the gap between aspiration and accessibility. And I think that also kind of pushes customer to experiment and step out of their comfort zones. E-com, for that matter, has played a very, very important role. It's created a massive transformation in buying behavior. If you look at online retail, I mean, earlier it wasn't there, now it's there, and people are exposed to the innovations, be it D2C brands or, the many ways that consumers are now exposed to these innovations and they're ready to experiment.
Absolutely. The consumer's patience is going further down with the invention of quick commerce as well. So
Absolutely, absolutely. And a lot of brands have started taking up that space as well.
So I will come to quick commerce and what challenges it faces in terms of the entire supply chain. But before that, I would like to ask Ritesh ji, Atul ji, and Mr. Mohapatra about the way that you understand these consumer trends, because consumers for you are at the end of the day the brands or somebody who's manufacturing an end product. So how do you take into consideration these consumer trends, and what strategies do you undertake to align your innovation with that?
If I have to talk straight, there is no straight answer to it, because consumer. One good thing about today's consumer, one thing I will say, you call it Gen Z or whatever, they are very, very adaptive and try new things. They are open, they are not rigid. So that is extremely good part, because when somebody is open to listen to an idea or explore the idea, it becomes very two-way communication. It's very easy to do a brand communication. Like Swati said, brand communication is the key. Now, see, technology operates on a very different level and all the levels. It's happening in physical world, it's happening in digital world. Of course, sentimental, emotional is a very, very complicated area I will not touch. But if we talk about digital world, AI and related technologies, everybody is using it in their own domain differently. Now, consider SAP. SAP more or less is a ERP system where it can connect various functions of an organization together. But for fashion or apparel industry, there is no 60% or 80% foolproof, right from the fiber to yarn to apparel till consumer track. Of course, everybody is talking about UI, UX, that is there, but everybody is doing it and using it there in their own silos. So it's very hard to track as a one reference point. Everybody is tracking the trend in their own different manner with their own different data. You guys are the master of maintaining and analyzing the data. So, but I say, like everybody had said, Arpana had said, Swati had said, Ritesh had said, even Jyoti, initiation is important and creating awareness is important. Somebody will consider to explore and adapt only if you create the awareness. What is product good for, what benefit it brings, and what is the real value. Price and the value are two different things, and there will be always ongoing war between two of them at any point of the business. But it works pull and push both. You create the awareness, you create the product, give honest USPs, and then let consumer decide that it's good for them, it's bad for them. See, there is nothing bad, there is always scope of improvement. Re-engineering is always possible. Reverse engineering is always possible. Upgradation is always possible. So it's not a fail. There are 1,000 times to make it better. I will leave it at this note only.
Okay, I'll because as you told the process, so there are different. You are from Wazir, so Wazir is doing this job, and we take your data also. So there is a a secondary research in which we really focus because it is ready-made. We get it. And we as a larger group also, we get into the primary research part of it. So to know the consumer preferences, how it is moving and everything. If we'll talk about the consumer preferences, I talk about, I think, comfort, the style, now functionality. So when we know this and when we know these are the brands actually working on it. So we are trying to work with them, try to create a pull. Really, world has got many brands, 250, 300, 500 brands. We cannot really work. We do the second process as called, who are the inspirational brands, where other brands follow. So we really select 4 to 5 brands with whom we work. VH, of course, is one of the premium brands in India. We work, group company, but yes, we start with them. We work with others also. Then, when we work with them, we just try to reconfirm those research, primary and secondary research, try to really emphasize on those products. Then we do prototypes. Then you do what everything needed, final review, everything you do, what is the requirement for a garment to be in the market. Though we are a fiber company, we work more with the value chain partners. Though our spinner is our direct customers, we work with the value chain partners. So that is how we create awareness. That is how we create a, hoo-ha in market and try to inspire other brands to follow these brands. That is.
So just to add on to this is basically, where one needs to work on is to understand the emerging consumer needs. So what are the needs today and what are the needs tomorrow? Might be same, might be different. It is important to understand those emerging consumer needs, and then your innovation has to be consumer backward, with a consumer backward approach, right? So if you innovate, you launch a product, you do that. And otherwise, if you are trying to follow something which is already become a trend, then we are living in a world where mind to market is not even 60 days, 45 days. Some brands are even talking about mind to market 30 days. So you think about a design and it has to be on the retail shelf or on the D2C platform within a span of 30 days. Then you don't have time for innovation. So the only better way is to follow a consumer backward approach, think some months ahead or some years ahead, and try to create a trend. You have to become a leader in creating trends. So otherwise, if you follow, you hardly have any time to kind of capture that trend. And sometimes trends change really very, very fast. By the time you come up with your innovation, the trend might have already changed. So that is an area which we spoke about social media and Gen Z. So I was at a conference, if I'm not wrong. So Gen Z today has a attention span time of 1.4 seconds. And the marketeers, they were discussing, you have 5 seconds, only 5 seconds to explain a product to them. If you cannot do it in 5 seconds, you're gone.
Yeah.
So that is where we are heading to, and so we have to preempt, think in, and then as I said, the value chain has to work together. So nobody in silo can do it. So everybody has to bring in their inputs, work together, team up, and say, okay, this is something which we are thinking about. How does it look like? And similarly, brands work on a. So they are the ones who are most. More closer to the consumer, right? So they have the first-hand feel. So if we work in silos, it's not going to happen. We work together. We can create trends. We can capture them and bring innovation in a very faster way and the right innovation to the consumers. Then.
I will take only 2 minutes to extension to that. If you go back to 2020, intimate apparel in our modals, I'll talk about our modals. It used to be with the women's wear, and I remember I was challenging with my team sitting here also. That let's start with a men's collection, and because I have seen, because from the garmenting side I was supplying to different global brands where model was already there globally. So when we started, there were a lot of challenges from the management, a lot of challenges from the value chain also. For the menswear, how can you use really modal? I think we started those developments along with the value chain. That is critical, because when you create a product, you need to know who will produce it. Okay, brand will be excited, they will put that into their product basket. If nobody is to supply, then, so we work with the value chain, we try to create a lot of modal products for the men's category. I think now it is a history. Everybody is using modal in the men's also. So I just thought of, extending.
Please.
Just 1 minute extension to Swati and then to Jyoti's one. As Swati is sitting here, we were working together in 2016, and I'll tell you the shift, because Van Heusen was essentially a menswear brand all the time. In entire journey of a brand, it was never a women's wear brand, except few career ranges and everything. So Van Heusen ladies innerwear was a complete mental shift, and we were discussing at one point whether it will be successful or not. Because Van Heusen is typically, Louis Philippe is different, Van Heusen has a very different handwriting, very different signature. So Puneet Malik, who was CEO of Van Heusen that time, I remember we probably must have countless arguments and brainstorming sessions whether Van Heusen should go into women's intimates or it should retain only in a men's segment. So what Jyoti was talking, exactly on a fabric level, we were just contemplating on a garment level and on a consumer thought point of view.
That is true. Association of the brand itself was, with men's, and it was really a difficult call to take at that point of time.
Absolutely, I agree. I was also talking to Mr. Puneet yesterday, and he was mentioning that the women's innerwear also makes a significant chunk of the business. So it is absolutely done well. So we've also covered a significant point about collaboration among stakeholders. So now I think I'll come to Stephen. We've kept you silent for a very long time. So since you work in the US as well as you've recently, since the last 2 years, come to India, so I just want to understand what is the difference between a developed and a developing countries in terms of innovation?
I think there are a lot of similarities all around the world. I think as a technology provider, I think the strategy we took with India specifically was, we know our technologies work. They're proven by lots of global brands over many years, and they continue to be in very strong demand. Then to bring it to India, we're American based, we manufacture our metallized products in America. Our extruded products were typically targeted at being manufactured at the point of demand, to enhance the sustainable credentials and the cost, frankly, as well. So we were making product in China, in Taiwan. which is where the majority of the North American branded products are manufactured still. When we came to India, it's importing products from the US, from China, from Taiwan didn't make a lot of sense. So we wanted to establish the fact that there is demand here, which I think we've done. I'm sure we've done. We then want to identify the right manufacturing brand partners to help us to manufacture our products locally, which we've done, or started to do, I should say. We're not complete, but about half of the technologies we intend to sell here are now available manufactured in India rather than imported from anywhere else in the world. So that has two distinct advantages. One, again, that from a sustainability point, we're not shipping product all around the world unnecessarily. From a cost point, we're manufacturing in India at very effective price points. I think all of our technologies enhance, have a sustainability contribution. You know, everything we do will add freshness, basically. So if you can have a product that remains fresh and clean from extended use, that can never be a bad thing. And when you extend the life of the product because it doesn't need washing every time it's worn, that can never be a bad thing. And, you know, and all of the clear, talked about all the time, less use of water and energy and everything else that's associated with that. I don't think there were any real specific differences in our market in India or our demand in India to anywhere else in the world, other than it's you know, clearly a very cost-conscious market. So we're doing what we can to ensure we're at competitive pricing for anything that we introduce here. And as I say, to manufacture it locally so that it's available when people want it, minimizing shipping from other parts of the world and that type of thing as well. Okay.
Any other challenges in particular that you've faced in the last 2 years?
In India specifically?
Yeah.
No, I think for me personally, it's awareness of the market and the local demand. We have fantastic representation with Pradeep and Viraj Rungta from Mumbai, who are very well known in the market and are our representatives here. They have long-standing relationships with many of the mills, and you've talked about Modal and the like. They introduced lensing product to the Indian market years ago, so they're very well introduced, well connected. I think for me, as I say personally, was knowledge of the brands and who's who and who to speak to, and we're making great progress on that.
Thank you, Stephen. I would also like to ask these questions to everybody about the challenges that the industry faces. And I would like to begin it with Mr. Mohapatra talking about quick commerce like we were discussing earlier. So with the advent of quick commerce and e-commerce, so with e-commerce the consumer wants the product in, let's say, 2 days, and with quick commerce in around 10-15 minutes. So at the from the supply chain point of view and your inventory levels or maintaining the stock point of view, what do you think is the way forward, and how do you overcome these challenges?
Okay, very difficult question for a fiber manufacturer. So we are okay. Then, but I will answer this. Right. So if we'll talk about a quick commerce, means you need it through Blinkit or any quick commerce platform. You need it in 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Apparels are coming actually. I ordered something and I got a US Polo shirt for my son. It needed for their school. So we are at the bottom of the value chain. So there are, if we'll talk about fiber to yarn to fabric to garment to the brand and the consumer. We are talking about consumer buying something in 10 minutes. And if we'll talk about that, then I think I would request brands to really support this, because there are two aspects. When you order something or we produce something, there are two things. One is make to stock and there is a make to order. When we go from fiber towards the finished product, so the risk level is getting high. From here, for us it is low. So we produce our fiber, keep it for some time and then somebody can take it because it is in gray stage. So when I'm talking about a product, finished product to be delivered, so I think brand needs to do a job, kind of do right kind of a projection, what consumer needs in the basics or in the innovations on the fashion side of it. So there are three categories and try to see whether these SKUs are filled by those, then the value chain will follow. That's my submission here.